Now we have only 2 minutes.
You said you had information about an attack.
I have information.
Prove it.
The guards are coming.
We're out of time.
Last night at 2300, two UH-60 Black Hawk gunships lit the target with over 8,000 rounds. During the sweep, one of the Deltas found something else.
I'm an American.
Marine Sergeant Nicholas Brody, MIA since early 2003 and presumed dead. Until now.
Welcome home.
Look how beautiful you are.
The Vice President.
Sergeant Brody, it's an honor.
Thank you, sir.
What were his exact words?
An American prisoner of war has been turned. Oh, what they did to you. As you know, the first 72 hours after soldiers' capture are critical. Sergeant Brody stopped being a source of actionable intelligence, and yet he was still kept alive.
You know what I really need? The last 8 years back, well, I get to take care of my wife and kids. And I'm not sent over there to fight that war.
We need Brody in the public eye.
We need him front and center. America's hero. You're suggesting that Abenazir planted intelligence on his own safe house just so we could recover Sergeant Brody?
Do you know who this man is?
No, I never met him.
If he is a terrorist, we need eyes and ears on Brody from the minute he steps off that plane.
Out of the question. Think for 1 minute you get away with this?
I thought that once I had some proof.
Yeah, you've been suggesting that Sergeant Brody's what you think he is.
What'd I tell you when I agreed to give her one more chance? I said it would end badly. For both of you.
Just tell me I'm not out here risking federal prison on behalf of a crazy person.
What are you saying? That I'm making this up? If somebody's trying to make contact with Brody, it'll only happen once.
The brass sent you over here to turn me into some poster boy for their war. The days that I take orders from the United States military are over.
Gary, I need you to promise you will raise no eyebrows in there.
There are times when you have to stand up for yourself and what you believe in.
I'm just making sure we don't get hit again.
On behalf of the President of the United States, it is my privilege to welcome you home.
Homeland.
You're listening to Jim Dawkins in the morning.
Homeland is a drama about the demons in our post-9/11 world.
I'm an American.
The story of an American POW turned terrorist.
We need eyes and ears on Brody from the minute he steps off that plane.
And the unstable CIA agent obsessed with learning his secrets and stopping him.
I missed something once before. I can't let that happen again.
It was 10 years ago. Everyone missed something that day.
Everyone's not me.
Its premise might seem unlikely for successful television. At first, even the stars weren't aligned with the idea of a drama about the war on terror.
When I got the pilot and, I was first asked to consider this project, it still felt really risky and maybe too timely, maybe too relevant.
Homeland.
But the series on CBS's Showtime was one of the most acclaimed news shows of last year. It won Golden Globe Awards for Best Drama and for Best Actress Claire Danes as Agent Carrie Matheson.
One of the things that the show does to great success is hold a mirror to our times.
Yes, and I think there are very few representations of what our society is wrestling with now in this post-9/11 moment, extended moment, which is, brimming with anxiety.
I think it hits a nerve, a universal international nerve.
Mandy Patinkin plays Saul Berenson, Carrie's mentor at the CIA.
It's a show that is desperately trying to find the common ground between the violence, the conflict.
This gives you 4 weeks.
You got a warrant? A FISA warrant? We're legal now?
Legal-ish.
I don't think entertainment changes the world or fixes anything, but maybe sometimes it has some effect.
Did you ever meet him?
Abenazir?
Was he ever present during any of your interrogations?
Homeland's first season kept viewers questioning.
Sergeant Brody.
No, I never met him.
Who's good? Who's bad? What's right? What's wrong?
Thank you, Sergeant Brody.
Thank you.
How did this conflicted U.S. Marine end up being played by a red-haired Brit?
Well, it's a good question.
English actor Damian Lewis plays Sergeant Nicholas Brody, America's newest war hero, freed after 8 years of captivity in Iraq.
Brody is really a victim of war. That's what he is.
He comes back a deeply conflicted and tortured soul.
Exactly. He comes back absolutely eviscerated by war, damaged irreparably. And that's the human cost of war.
Carrie suffers from a bipolar disorder, a Cassandra character who speaks the truth that no one else believes.
You don't know what you're doing! You don't know what you're doing!
By the end of season 1, she unravels and undergoes electroshock therapy, while Brody, at the last minute, aborts his suicide bomb plot.
Got a call for you from your daughter.
This thing just came right out of the gates. It was, you know, within episode 2 or 3, people were talking about it.
But Lewis never imagined who was talking about the show. Last spring, he was invited to a state dinner at the White House for the British Prime Minister. President Obama told him he was a fan of Homeland.
You know, I said to him and David Cameron halfway through dinner, I said, when do you guys get to watch TV? Because aren't you supposed to be running the free world? And the president said, you know, Saturday afternoons, Michelle takes the girls, they go play tennis, and I switch on Homeland.
Somebody told me that you love this character.
I do. She's badass and brilliant, infinitely more than I could ever be myself.
You said you had information about an attack by Abu Nazir.
I have information.
Prove it.
She has a kind of superhero quality.
Inside a soundstage in Charlotte, North Carolina, the cast and crew are shooting the second season, which begins next Sunday.
And then we're playing all the Brody office building stuff back at the safe house.
Nearly 2,500 miles away in Los Angeles, the writers and producers are trying to stay an episode ahead.
So does the show have a message? Is there a message you're trying to get across week after week?
It definitively has
Absolutely
no message.
not, yeah.
I mean, you know, when you have a message is for propaganda, really.
Howard Gordon and Alex Ganza created Homeland and are executive producers. They both worked on 24, another television drama about the war on terror.
I got a flight to catch.
Just like on 24, there was an assumed right-wing sort of message. I think there's an assumed more liberal message here. But I think we're just telling a more nuanced story.
In the last 10 years, we've been in 2 wars. We've seen the Arab Spring. We've seen, you know, certain rights, you know, and constitutional rights challenged in the name of security. And so the idea of a soldier coming home from war was something that really grabbed us. And the complexity and the challenges of that.
For the writers, the challenge this season is to maintain the suspense.
Hello, everyone.
Now that some of the characters' secrets have spilled into view.
Few words.
Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Nicholas Brody.
Brody has been elected to Congress, but still feels pulled into the terrorist web. Carrie's recovering from electroshock out of the CIA.
If you're going to ask me to go to Beirut, just ask me already.
But she, too, is being pulled back.
We just need you to go meet with your asset, find out what she knows.
We often said that we were able to pose a lot of questions in the first season, but we have to answer a lot of questions in the second season, and that is just inherently more difficult.
This psychological thriller addresses some of the most troubling issues of our time. It's filled with moral ambiguities, hard choices, and complicated characters. That's a lot to ask of a television drama, even one that enters its second season with high expectations.
I love my country. I swore an oath to defend the United States of America against enemies both foreign and domestic.
I have never been so sure and so wrong.
If
If your allegiance is truly with us, this is your chance to prove it.
It's one thing planning a terrorist attack. It's a completely different thing to carry it through.
Last season, Brody does attempt to blow the vice president up, but doesn't succeed.
Really, we're left with the idea that love wins the day.
Dad, you have to promise me.
I'm coming home, Dana.
We pick up this season 6 months later. Brody is now a congressman. He is trying to infiltrate himself into the political classes and subvert from within.
I had you vetted by my search committee. What did we miss, Nick?
He's walking a very fine line, and as the audience, you still don't really know which way he's gonna go.
I told in his ear I would influence lawmakers through my access. That is what we agreed. That is what I'm doing.
Jessica definitely senses that something's up with Brody. I think she feels isolated in the relationship a lot because he doesn't really let her in and tell her what's going on, but she's on to him. You're hiding something.
Carrie is vindicated by the audience, but no one, including her, is aware of how right she was.
I am not what you think I am. You need to get some help.
She sends herself to get electroshock therapy because she's so concerned about her mental instability. Being wrong about Brody, it me up. It makes me unable to trust my own thoughts.
Her obsessive behavior is a help in terms of focus. It hurts her because it can lead to analyzation and negative thinking.
This year, she is stable, but that stability is fragile and tenuous.
She's not well, David. We have no other options. Carrie Matheson was at the CIA. She's back in play. It's got to be about me.
The unanswered relationship between Carrie and Brody is going to become more fully realized.
Even though she is the single most dangerous person in his life, like a moth to a flame, he keeps being drawn back to her.
I was just wondering if we could bury the hatchet.
He needs her, and at the same time, he wants information from her. That's what's been so great about this show, that level of real psychological complexity in a real human being.
Your role is more important than ever now.
I'm very attracted to this show because the speed and seductiveness of the plot.
The writers are really examining responsibility on all sides.
I am not a terrorist.
The audiences this season, they'll continue to be surprised.
There was a change of plans.
Special Ops has an operation underway. You with me?
I've done my role.
He's still out there. I've decided. I want to be with you.
Somebody moved my car.
Oh, Saul. What is Avenue Zero's plan? The big theme in season 2 was Brody being turned into a double agent.
We're at war. You need to choose sides.
The CIA is torn to shreds by a bomb, which is in Brody's car. That's why Brody has to go on the run, and Carrie helps him escape.
I'm gonna clear your name, Brody.
Carrie, you got me here. That's more than you ever had to do.
It's been 58 days since the attack on Langley, in which 219 Americans lost their lives. Since then, this committee's been trying to get to the bottom of what happened.
This season, Carrie feels hugely culpable. If you're asking, will I ever forgive myself? No, I won't. She's under the impression that taking her medication dulled her mind.
It says here you stopped taking your meds.
My colleagues are dead because I took my meds. Carrie could potentially be used as a scapegoat.
At what point did the agency know Brody was a bad guy?
What are we doing here?
Activating my insurance policy.
You won't see Brody as a congressman this year. You won't see him as a Marine.
The president wants closure for the American people, so Brody is the poster boy for this attack.
No one wants to find him more than we do.
It looked for a second there like the Brody family might make it. Mom, but it can't possibly get any worse.
It's done on TV.
People will say I was broken. I was brainwashed. Homeland Security will be brought to bear on this man. No quarter will be given when they find him.
Where am I?
Well, that's a dangerous question.
What we need right now is a big win to take the pressure off.
A win would be nice. Another fuck-up would be fatal.
Saul has inherited a broken agency.
The American people have lost faith in your ability to get things right.
Right from the first episode, people are blaming each other as opposed to working together, trying to make the world a safer place.
They could really do that. Dissolve the CIA.
Congress has that power.
And so Saul is trying to work his way through that in the midst of dealing with Carrie Matheson.
Did she conceal from you the fact that she's been sleeping with Congressman Brody?
Who knows what? Who says what? Why don't these people say this? And why do those people say that? Where's the truth?
You have to stop making the case for Brody in public. It would bury the agency. Season 3 is a trip. Brody was your operation, Saul.
Everybody seems to have a double life.
You can't go spilling agency secrets. I'm worried you're gonna get yourself hurt.
This is a sham.
You don't know who to trust. Nobody can be considered your friend.
She's out for blood, Saul. I just wanted you to know I'm going to stop her.
Carrie Matheson?
They're all suffering in their respective corners in the hope they'll find their way back to each other over the course of the season. Rule number 1, we don't eat our own.